Hello, I am AxelMC131 and welcome back to the Kerbal Space Program, and just a little short video to explain away something that I'm sure someone will have noticed, or if you didn't, I certainly did. And that is that in the previous episode, when I was unlocking stuff in the tech tree, I flashed over one or two things that the eagle-eyed veteran KSP players will notice as being very odd. Now, the first one of those is under General Construction. Now, I've got this as the research tree on the career mode save that I've been playing for the videos, and this is all the tech that I have unlocked at the moment. I'm not going to be actually playing anything, I'm just going to be showing you some items here. And the first one is the TT-18A Launch Stability Enhancer, the launch clamp. As we all know, very useful for launching very large rockets, and it has a built-in electric generator. You'll also notice there on the list that it has, for some reason, a liquid fuel and oxidizer generator, which must be started rather than being always active, and I've added those through the config file. So yours won't do that, but mine do, which means that when I unlock these, I can actually have fuel pumps which will keep my rocket fuel tanks full, even if I'm burning an engine, before decoupling from the launch clamp. And I've also enabled the fuel crossfeed. You'll see the thing that usually says no fuel crossfeed disabled or something is not there. So that's something that I edited in my own config, and I may show you guys how to do that in another video, but there is actually a post on the KSP forums that I made a while back when I actually initially changed that, and you guys can have a look at that. It's not cheating because I have self-control. We've had that discussion there already. I'm not using it to get free fuel. It only uses it for a couple of seconds. Right, the other things that people may have noticed under not advanced rocketry, fuel systems, is this funny looking tank, which is a fuel tank, believe it or not. It's blue, and it looks like a battery. And there's a reason for that. It's technically a modded part that I have made by copying, well, not copying, but referencing the, I think it's the 1000 unit battery, the Z1K battery pack. And this is the crew stage service tank, which is actually 2.5 meter fuel tank, which has space for liquid fuel, oxidizer, and electric charge. And this is actually supposed to be, as you see, inspired by the crew stage from the Mars Science Laboratory that delivered the rover Curiosity to the Red Planet. And I actually used it in a replica. Now, there are two other parts that I have modded and added in here. One of them is under supersonic flight and is a replica from the structural air intake, or as it's now called, the long adjustable ramp intake, which is this, the RO-15 Enigma radial ascent booster engine, and it is actually an engine, although it uses the model of the air intake. And it's actually really neat. It's designed with high atmospheric efficiency, so you can see its ISP at sea level is 300, and it has a little bit of fuel and decent thrust, no gimbaling, no alternator, and quite expensive. Well, to research, I suppose. And it's used for space planes, and I actually used it on a reusable launch, not reusable launch, a reusable crew transport vehicle called the Raven in a previous career save, and it was very, very successful as a low-profile radial attached engine. Then there is one other part which I actually used to copied straight from this, the config and custom texture I'd made for this crew stage service tank, which is under space exploration, and that is this, the I-75A utility tank. And this is a 1.25 meter part, and it's basically the same as the service tank, except instead of carrying rocket fuel, it carries monopropellant and electric charge. And this one is by Phoenix Aerospace Industries, so is the RA-15, and this should be, but it currently says miscellaneous modding, which actually comes from my old modding folder of just random parts that I was making. So yeah, those will show up later on, and I will do demos of how they work once I unlock them and probably utilize them. They are hopefully balanced. I like balanced gameplay. I don't like to make anything that's game breaking, so they're not like stupidly large amounts of fuel. This here carries the same amount of fuel as one of these and one of these put together. So it's basically 3/4 of one of these T400 fuel tanks, in other words, in one of those, and 250 electric charge, which I think is nice and balanced, and crash tolerances and stuff are all about as what you would expect from something like that. But yeah, those are the parts. They'll be introduced into the game so you can actually see what they look like properly. These two just have blue and yellow on the outside to differentiate them, and the Enigma actually doesn't have a texture. It just looks like the structural intake. but I'll show you how those work once they are implemented. But yeah, just wanted to show you guys there in case anyone was about to question me on playing a stock game. To be fair, I never actually said this is a stock gameplay, but those are the only modded parts that I am using. So I've got 3 modded parts. I may add more later on if I come up with them, because I did have fun modifying some of these parts and editing new ones. And also the launch clamp with the built-in fuel pumps in there. Those are the only changes to this game at the moment. If any more get put in, I will let you know, but otherwise this will be a quote-unquote stock game. But yeah, guys, that's all I wanted to show you. So until next time, thank you very much for watching. I've been XLMC131, and I'll see you then.